go, we're gonna get a little funky now, this next one. Well, it's 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm on the streets again.
I suppose the difference between a cover band and a tribute band, cover bands generally do a selection of different covers, you know, so they might do a Bon Jovi track, they might do a Take That track, they might do a Jam track, they do a selection of cover songs really. Tribute bands, generally speaking, will do an entire set by one band. The first one I remember becoming aware of was probably in the early 90s, a band called Bjorn Again, who were an Aberystwyth tribute, and at the time nobody had really come across this phenomenon, you know, that a band would look like an original classic band, play all their songs, and actually pull in big crowds, and they ended up, as far as I remember, they played the Reading Festival, they played Leeds Town and Country Club, which is now the Academy. They were playing huge gigs, and people were going wild.
The Picturedrome is a purpose-built cinema-stroke music hall built in 1912, and it was put together by a local family business, Bamforth, that used to do picture postcards, and then they went into making movies and lantern slides and that kind of thing. And the building that had a purpose-built stage, so there was occasional entertainment on it. And 100 years later, I'm here pretty much doing the same thing. We have a lot of tribute bands coming in, because some of the bands that do come in, there's just no way that the bands that they're imitating can come in, because they're just too big for our venue. You know, you'll get like a big band like, say, Take That. They will fill 100,000 people stadiums, and we're 690. So, and people aren't really bothered, because it's purely about the music and the entertainment factor. So they just, you know, it's a cheap ticket, and they can have a good laugh and a good night out without having to travel too far.
Soldier of fortune came home from war and wondered what he was fighting for. This sad-eyed soldier.
Oh, excuse me.
That's alright.
Video.
There's nowhere to park my fucking car, so I'm having to take it.
I'm John. I'm Chris.
Dave.
Simon.
So how did you get together?
I used to teach this guy how to play guitar. That's why he kind of plays so well. I hate to admit it.
Did you really teach you to play guitar?
And then we bumped into John. I bumped into John at the Sheffield Arena at a Dio gig, Deep Purple.
Black Sabbath.
Black Sabbath, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Did it right. And he was like, "Oh, we should form a band."
Well, you saw that.
I saw
you
this
saw that
full
first, and thought it was himself.
Yeah. What are you doing with tattoo with me on your? We got talking, and we decided to form this band.
Oh, he was so broke up inside. When will it end? When will it end?
Wyeth and Lizzie.
Yeah.
Was the greatest band ever.
Yeah.
And Simon was kind of the same colour. I thought that'll be spot on. Not the same temperament.
Do you know any other Thin Lizzy tribute band?
Well, Dave actually came from another Thin Lizzy tribute band. That's where we got him from. He was in a band called Twin Lizzy. There is a couple more, but we shan't mention their names. Because there is a lot of rivalry and a lot of skullduggery and a lot of cutthroat activity that goes on. Not on us, obviously, we're nice as pie.
It's them.
But it can be a little bit
Devious.
yeah, cloak and dagger, some of it. It's very
It's a bitchy world, isn't it?
yeah, it's very
The tribute
competitive. Yeah, and everybody's pretending. And some people forget that.
But I'm
gig in Ackworth once on a Sunday, and there was no one there. This guy had just been released from prison, turned up, drunk, with a bandana on his head and a pink Stratocaster.
And rocked all the way through
air
it.
guitar throughout the whole set.
Yeah.
That was a highlight.
Yeah, that's the kind of people we attract.
Why did you decide to be a tribute band and not make original music?
We do.
We do.
We do as well. Yeah.
This gets the money.
Yeah,
Original music doesn't get paid until you start building that fan base up. Until that happens, then you can make a lot of money. Playing someone else
Maybe
well.
one day.
One day.
Yeah.
Even with tribute stuff, yeah. You make more money than you do playing original stuff, but we enjoy it. That's why we do it. Yeah, we've done many gigs and lost money. We've travelled down to Birmingham.
For nothing.
Yeah, and come back having to pay all the petrol and other expenses out of our own pockets, but we do it because we love it.
Do you mind me asking how much you get paid for one gig?
It depends. As most of the time,
£50,000, is it?
yeah, we're lucky if we don't have to get changed in the toilets and that kind of thing. But as a rule, it's most of the time it's however many people you attract, because people pay on the door to come in. So we have to make sure we do it well so that they come back
The thing
and see
is,
us again.
all the expense off the promoter takes his cut, which is normally 20%. Then we've got the PA and lighting and the sound man we have to pay.
We get paid less than everybody.
Yeah.
I don't think we've got to big money yet, but if you can, if you, I don't know, an average of £800 a night, but out of that, then you're going to pay the lighting and the sound people £200, £300 out of that, and then there's diesel and fuel and everything else out of that. So
Do you
even
pay
though it
royalties?
sounds a lot, we don't have to pay. We have to sign up to PRS, but we don't have to pay anything. It's the venues who pay that, not the
part of the
performers.
fee, that.
Yeah. So it's basically the place we're studying now has to cover those costs and pay those costs.
Is there a point where a tribute artist can start getting confused between being the real person and being the stage persona? Have you ever seen that in a tribute?
No, not here. Oh yeah, sorry, yeah, there was one, and who has to remain nameless. He thought it was the original guy. It was a bit, cuckoo.
I think I have to line it all the time.
Yeah,
I'll wake up.
Yeah, Simon's easily
And I'm
confused.
just- yeah.
Yeah, so, but other people get confused, especially when he gets dressed up. It can throw people.
Remember that one time in Bradford? A girl actually asked him why he had him tattooed on his arm.
She was.
Do you know about that?
I think it's
She was from Bradford though. So.
A Rolling Stones tribute band I once went backstage with, and I was gobsmacked to find that they were living the life of the Rolling Stones in the sort of late 60s or 1970s. It was this kind of, excess all areas existence, and you think, this is really weird. And especially there was the guy that was playing Brian Jones, who obviously was found dead in his swimming pool in 1967. You kind of thought, you know what, if you don't slow down, you're probably going to go the same way. You're not, he was really just going at it full tilt, and you just think, this is really weird.
A yak smashed and alert. Put the wig on, it's completely different.
Yeah, he needs to be in character before he can do it.
Yeah.
Apart from that, he's pretty useless.
A lot of it can be very funny. It's very tongue-in-cheek. We've got one actually, the village that I live in, we've got a Queen tribute band, and the Freddie Mercury character is the local postman, and to see him kind of walking around with his post bag, you would never, and he's the shyest guy imaginable, you would never imagine that he puts these false teeth in, puts a moustache on, a vest, slicks his hair back and becomes Freddie Mercury. And when he's Freddie Mercury, he's a completely different person. He's this flamboyant rock god, and I quite like that. You think, well, he's living out his fantasies really, and they play gigs all over the world actually. And I'm sure they make a decent living at it when he's not delivering the post. It's a kind of magic really, I guess, as they say in the trade.
Okay, so I'm gonna try to not be. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna be filming them. So do you think you can just?
I'm in the band.
Are you in the band? Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, you're gonna have to